By the way, the Ninth Circuit Court upholds that restraining order against Trump's travel restrictions. Here's how President Trump responded.
So you believe the judges made a political decision?
We have a situation where the security of our country is at stake. And it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
Joining us now, Judge Jeanine Pirro. Judge, your initial reaction to the, I mean, you probably thought it was going to be 2-1, but 3-0 kind of threw a few people off. And then when you go into the details of this, it really gets sort of scary, doesn't it?
You know, I wasn't surprised at all, and I believe that the genesis of this whole case starting in the state of Washington was because they knew that it would go to the Ninth Circuit, which is the most liberal, left-wing, laughed-at, overturned circuit in the country, overturned, of course, by the United States Supreme Court. So I never believed that Washington had the standing to sue, and when you think about it, Charles, the most important issue for your viewers to remember is this. No one has the right to enter the United States of America, especially if you're a foreigner. Let me say that again. The only people who have the right to come here are citizens, and the people who want to come here are people that we don't know exactly who they are. There's no vetting in their countries, and the president has plenary power as it has to do with national security and immigration, as confirmed by Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, as well as 8 U.S.C. 1182, subdivision F of the United States Code.
Of which we all have become very familiar with, and even failing high school students know how to interpret it. But this court did not. Among other things, this court said, citing other cases, says statements by decision makers may be considered to evaluate whether U.S. government actions are, quote, motivated by discriminatory purposes. I mean, listen, I don't know how this will influence the next legal decision. Or the ramifications for it, if the bar is higher or more or tougher. But you start to play this out in the court of public appeal. Right now, the American public is overwhelmingly for this temporary stay because it makes sense. It's a common sense measure.
Right.
This court seems to have added a lot of political fuel to the idea that it was a Muslim ban, that it was designed to hurt people, and it had nothing to do with security.
And, you know, the shame of that, Charles, is that, number one, it is a ban on anyone coming from those countries who is not a citizen. And Don McCord, who is the White House counsel, made it very clear that this is not about anyone with a green card. That was resolved early on. So this is about people coming from a country who don't have a vetting system. One of those countries, as you just played in your earlier clip, I mean, they're yelling death to America. Yeah. I mean, they live to kill us, and if you don't know that, you're stupid. And, you know, what we've got is a group of people where even ISIS has said, we're going to send killers in these people, in these groups of people. So to claim that due process is even relevant here is absurd. It is not relevant. They do not have due process rights. They're not even on on our country grounds.
The involvement of 130 of the biggest companies in this country with the amicus brief, did that sway this at all? And does it say to the American public the needs of the elites still come before the Constitution?
I think that the needs of the elite come before anything that Donald Trump is in favor of. And make no mistake, Charles, that whenever a judge makes an assessment, you know, you've got the scales of justice in front of you. And I want you to think about how important and how weighty our national security is, as opposed to the interest of some foreign national whose background we don't know, who FBI Director James Comey has even said, we have no way to vet these people. We don't know who they are. And yet these companies, as well as this Ninth Circuit, these 3 judges, one appointed by Carter, one by Obama, and one by Bush, and then, of course, as a circuit court, I should say, made the decision to add its imprimatur to the state. And it's only temporary. I mean, come on.
Is there a sidebar here with the notion that this court is also saying we have a right to be involved in this? You know, the judicial branch has maybe not the same footing, but they have a right to be involved in security matters just as much as the executive branch.
And, you know, that's what's happening here. They are conflating issues that, you know, they say there are 3 co-equal branches of government, and that's where they're getting messed up here. Because the Constitution is very clear on issues of immigration, national security. There are plenary powers that the president has. And to ask him to prove his reasoning is not relevant to to a temporary restraining order. I've issued them myself as a judge. And the issue is there irreparable harm? You want to tell me there's an irreparable harm to a student from another country at a state university? It's not direct. It's not immediate. And to say that the government has to show irreparable harm, no, it's the plaintiff who has to show the harm. This is all convoluted. And Charles, I believe that what Donald Trump needs to do is you go for that nuclear option. You get Gorsuch on the Supreme Court. But even if you don't, I truly believe that the Supreme Court, and maybe
the way it's structured now,
4-4, and even though I'm an idealist, I believe in the law. I still believe that they understand that there is a constitutional power that this president has.
Judge, please stay right.